The Ford Mustang has been a surprise success story in Australia. It's effectively stepped in for those V8 Falcons and Commodores that were once the default choice for anyone chasing a big engine performance car. And for 2018, the Mustang has got that little bit better. The updated Mustang has taken an evolutionary step in terms of design. The shark-inspired headlights are lower and sleeker, bonnet scoops now signal its intent, and quad exhausts define the tweaked tail. Inside too, it is a lot more upmarket. That wasn't hugely difficult to achieve. The last one was pretty El Cheapo in terms of the plastics. This one, the finishes, the materials are a massive step up, much more in keeping with the character of the car. This metal finish on the dash is the perfect example. There's also some really nice little touches, things like the Mustang logo on the passenger side. The highlight in here has got to be the new instrument cluster, a fully customizable digital display, and you can choose between three very different layouts. You've got normal, sport, and racetrack. You've also got these track apps where you can go in and do everything from performance testing, brake testing, lap times, even to how the launch control operates. Now all that functionality, that customization, that data logging, that puts a heck of a lot of luxury cars to shame. But it's here one of the biggest changes has taken place. Yes, it is still a 5-litre V8, and yes, it still makes an awesome noise, but it's now got a heap more power. You're looking at an extra 33 kilowatts, a total of 339. It's also hooked up to a new 10-speed automatic. Now there's no car on the market with more gears than that. The advantage with that is with performance. Instead of having big gaps between the ratios, the engineers can stuff them all a whole lot closer together, so that when you step on it, you can hear it firing through the ratios. One thing I love with the Mustang is you don't necessarily have to be driving it hard to enjoy it, and a lot of that comes down to the sound. They've done a phenomenal job with that exhaust. Even when you start it, it sounds great. There's so much burble from that exhaust that Ford even engineered in what they call quiet mode. And one of the cleverest bits of it is you can set it for certain times of the day, so it's effectively to not annoy your neighbours. Of course, performance is still important with the Mustang, and it doesn't disappoint. 0 to 100 in 4.3 seconds. Not bad. All that performance comes from a pretty simple formula. Plenty of revs, big engine, lots of power. Now, while the Mustang may only be a two-door and a relatively compact and svelte sports car, it's still pretty porky. You can feel the weight. It's not the most agile of sports cars. Certainly long flowing corners are its friends. Tighter ones, not so much. That said, it is a surprisingly capable car. You've got nice grippy Michelin tyres, new, developed for this car. You've also got Brembo brakes, so it does what it's told. Now, it's not all great news with the 2018 Mustang, mainly when it comes to price. I guess a key part of its pitch has been affordability. Nowadays, this one, the GT, starts at about $67,000, so not super cheap. By the time you start throwing some options at it, things like Recaro seats that we've got here, the Magna Ride adjustable suspension, the nice sporty stripe down the centre, and some forged alloy wheels, you're not going to get any change out of 75 grand. But that is still pretty decent value compared with other cars giving you similar performance. It's easy to get wrapped up in the noise and the theatre and the pace of the Mustang, but there's one area it seriously disappoints, and that is with safety. Now, Ford's actually added more gear for this model. You're looking at auto emergency braking, for example, as standard. But even with that, the Independent Crash Test Authority, NCAP, only rated it 3 stars. That's a poor result. But despite all of that, there is still so much to love about this car. It absolutely does what it says on the box. It goes hard, it sounds terrific, and it looks the business. Sure, it's a shame that it's crept up in price a little bit, but ultimately it's not like you come away disappointed from your 70-odd grand spend. And that is what a sports car is all about.